all the pictures that I took in those 8 years, 1.9 million, are all saved in our National Archives in perpetuity, every single picture.
And does every president have an official photographer?
Since pretty much the Kennedy administration,
And
yes.
Trump's got one, has he?
Yes.
We don't see those pictures so often.
There's some of them come out. Yeah.
Now let's have a look at these. Tell us about this one.
So this is the night of the first inauguration. They're going to one of the inaugural balls. They're on a freight elevator. It's quite chilly. You can see he's taking his jacket off, put it over his shoulders. They're sharing this semi-private moment, and the staff and Secret Service in the background are trying not to look.
And you there, of course, so you have to travel around in the motorcade. Let's move on.
This is actually that same night. This is about 2:30 in the morning of the first inauguration, and he's going upstairs to his private quarters. And like 5 or 6 hours later, he was in the Oval Office.
So how did it work? Any time he was moving about in public, you accompanied him? He didn't...
Or in private as well.
In private?
Too. Yeah.
And did he ever say, just go away? Or...
No, but we established a good relationship where...
Now, do you remember that one?
This was in Africa, giving a speech in Africa at an airport.
Yeah, this was in Ghana. Now, I don't know whether you took this one.
Yes.
You took this one. I don't know the next one, whether you took it or not. That's me and...
No,
oh, that was your colleague. I interviewed him.
I remember that, though, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so anybody he meets, you take a picture of someone with.
Yes,
And that was an extraordinary trip, that African trip.
Yes, it was. It was. He brought the family on that trip, too.
Yeah.
Here he is with his 2 girls. That's Sasha on the left and Malia. We had a big snowstorm in D.C. The kids were still fairly young, so he went outside and played in the snow.
And did they mind having their pictures taken at all?
No, not at all. I mean, they were used to me being around. This is him when he filled in as coach for Sasha's basketball team one Saturday because the regular coaches couldn't make the game.
I mean, a lot of pictures of him with children. Of course, that famous one of him with the little boy feeling his hair. I mean, was that because they're photogenic or because he was particularly good with kids?
I think it was a little of both, actually. This is a daycare center next door to Sasha's school. He had gone for a parent-teacher conference. He saw these kids next door hanging out of the window, and he went over and said hi to them. They didn't know what was going on.
Now, I've got to ask you, was he a bit of a poser?
No. I mean, the great thing about having a subject like him is the presence of my camera and me didn't bother him at all. Yeah. So he just went about his business.
And he does take a good picture, a very, very elegant man.
Yes. This is, I like to say, this is the remake of The Sound of Music, but it's really at a G20 summit in Germany.
Did she?
No, she didn't. No, she was not singing.
And how do they react? Because they don't all have official photographers. These other
most of them do, actually. Yeah. Most of them do. This is the daughter of a White House staff person at Halloween with her elephant costume on.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, Prince George at Windsor Castle. I like how there's that eye contact between the two.
What was the most amazing place you went to?
Probably the most amazing place was we got to climb inside the pyramids, which I thought was pretty cool. Petra Jordan was pretty cool.
Not easy to take a picture inside the pyramids.
No. But it was a cool experience. This is just a typical scene at the Resolute desk, him studying some papers.
Now, a lot of these pictures people can see because you're very active on Instagram.
Yes.
You put up, I think you've got more than 1 million followers watching them. And you've done that since you left the White House.
Yes.
So why have you done that?
Oh, I think it's a good reminder of what the past administration was like.
I mean, are you making a point about past and present administration?
I mean, people will read into it what they will. I think I'm doing it in a respectful way. And sometimes a playful way as well.
You miss him, or is it the job that you miss?
No, I actually don't miss the job because it's a grind 24/7 for 8 years. So I was happy that the 8 years were over. I miss all the people, though. I definitely miss.
Did you get the offer to stay on for Trump? Or?
No, and I wouldn't. But I wouldn't have stayed on for Hillary as well. I was kind of worn out by the end.
I mean, you did work. You were a photographer, official photographer during the Reagan years as well. How different were Nancy and Ronnie and Barack and
Well,
Michelle?
a lot of it was they were much older. They were in the mid to late 70s back when I was a White House photographer, President Reagan. So they were not as active outside the office as President Obama was. Plus, it was a different time. You know, with there was no such thing as the internet and social media during the Reagan days. So that made my job a little bit different.
Now, there's a wrist breaker of a book.
Yeah, it's a heavy book.
With all your pieces.
I'm surprised you can hold that up with one hand.
Who owns these photographs? I mean,
they're owned by the public, so it's public domain. So actually, anybody can use my pictures.
Anybody?
Anybody, yeah.